A number of theoretical and practical conferences devoted to the president's annual address will be held in the country. About $7 million were allocated from the state budget to clarify the address to the population. Find out more from the next report.
Thanks to Senator Kuaner Sultanov, the Strategic Studies Institute traveled back in time to 1997 as the guest of sociologists and political scientists spent 40 minutes explaining them the president's address from a historical perspective. Apparently, the country has completed the first stage of the Kazakhstan 2030 strategy.
I remember the former Tselinograd. It was already drowning in dirt back then. If Astana had not moved there, I do not know what fate it would have. That was the time the president announced the development strategy until 2030, set fantastic boundaries and introduced the word prosperity.
Members of the Political Decisions Institute also discussed the address, but independent researchers say that strategic objectives must determine domestic policies and not nostalgia. Right now, though, there are numerous obstacles on the way to a better future.
Spiritual components of obstacles should be mentioned as well. The first is incompetence, the lack of professionalism in state power structures. Second is the discrepancy between the level of education and officials' positions. The roof is on fire, but they say that everything is fine.
Meanwhile, a response address to the president is being published for the first time. The wanted banker Roman Solochenko wrote in his blog that Kazakhstan will never see true democratic reforms. Here is why.
Perhaps, Mr. President, you have nothing to fear in this life. The wire to foreign accounts money and real estate purchased all around the world will be enough to last several generations of Nazarbayevs, while cash stored in Akorda's basements will be loaded up into your plane long before the crowd will cover the distance from the fence to the residence steps.
Roman Solochenko does not expect a reply. At the same time, the Strategic Studies Institute will devote the next issue of its magazine to the president's address. Then in March, the Bright Minds will launch a campaign to explain the core message points of the address to the rest of the Kazakh population.
Meanwhile, the head of state is busy improving foreign relations. From now on, Turkish embassies in countries with no Kazakh diplomatic missions will represent the interests of Kazakh citizens. Also, the visa-free stay of citizens of Kazakhstan and Turkey and vice versa will be extended from 1 to 3 months. President Nazarbayev and Turkish foreign minister reached these agreements on Thursday in Astana.
This is not an ordinary visit. The president of Kazakhstan, Nazarbayev, personally met the Turkish Foreign Affairs Minister Ahmet Davutoglu. The meeting was held behind closed doors. The parties agreed that the Cooperation Council Secretariat of Turkic states, the creation of which was initiated by Nazarbayev, will be located in Istanbul, while Turkic Academy will be set up in Kazakhstan. Turkey also intends to support the initiative of holding the OSCE Heads of State Summit in Astana. Turkish Foreign Minister also met with his Kazakh colleague. They signed 2 memorandums on statistics and mutual assistance in the emergencies. I hope that we can avoid natural disasters, but we have signed an agreement to cooperate should such disasters happen in the future. Turkey will always support Kazakhstan. Further negotiations at the ministerial level will be held at least twice a year.
An influx of foreign investors in the non-raw material sector of economy is expected in Kazakhstan soon because of the recently created customs union. The next report has more.
Kazakh analysts predict that expats might enter the Kazakh business sector. Foreigners are interested in projects in energy, chemical, light and construction industries. The Independent Business Association is glad that the country is finally starting to rely on the real sector.
We cannot say it is bad because it provides jobs that pay people. At least it brings stability and economical development. Of course, there should be a certain level of national security which must be taken into account.
If local businesses will not be supported, the money will find their way abroad. Timur Nazkhanov says that every year the share of small and medium-scale businesses in Kazakhstan's GDP is declining. Last year, the government set an ambitious plan to increase the share of small and medium-scale businesses to 31%. According to the Business Development Fund Damu, real numbers were more modest, 22 to 24%. The threshold of the Independent Business Association was even lower at 15 to 20%. The Association of Customs Brokers clarified that the attention of investors has aggravated due to the emergence of the customs union, which will begin its work in July. High customs duties will make it unprofitable to import goods. Turkish businessmen are already planning to produce jeans inside the country in southern Kazakhstan. Nevertheless, there are still plenty of shortcomings in the investment sector.
Прибыль-то будет все равно, она, если это иностранцы,
Either way, the profits will be collected by the foreign investor. He's not investing into Kazakhstan to make it richer. He wants to become richer himself.
Businessmen of this kind, though, never count on super profits, settling for a long-term small but stable income.
The abnormally cold winter in Kazakhstan caused a real environmental disaster on the east of the country. Irtysh River is almost completely frozen for the first time in many years. This rare phenomenon led to mass deaths of ducks that fly here for wintering.
Ducks freeze while sitting on ice and then become easy targets for predatory birds. According to experts, hundreds of birds have already been killed. No one cares about this riverside tragedy except for several compassionate people who feed the ducks. Neither emergency services nor environmental agency have reacted yet. According to forecasters, frost will not subside and will stay strong for a few more days. The severe weather conditions affect not only birds but also other wild animals. Wild animals suffer in all areas. In Katon-Karagay National Park, rows are entering villages as they cannot find food on their own because of the high snow cover. Animals are already in a hopeless situation. The river is completely frozen. This is a disaster.
Meanwhile, problems of Karaganda residents can soon disappear altogether. Mayor Baudjan Abdishev can now use a magic wand to solve them. The object was presented to the official by Rosa Petrus, the chairman of Disabled People Union, during the mayor's annual report. In addition to the magic wand, the woman gave the official a magic box for letters and an appeal with smileys.
It is not her style to simply listen to the annual report of Karaganda mayor and then leave. The chair of Disabled People Union, Rosa Petrus, told the new head about the old problems in a letter with smileys. She asked to reinstate benefits, reduce prices and ban tree cropping. Rosa Petrus placed this letter in a box and prepared a magic wand for the mayor. The new mayor is not likely to have many assistants, as officials and monopolists do not want to work. But if he has a magic wand, the mayor can turn them into some kind of insect, for example. Mayor assistants attempted to take away Rosa Petrus' letter. However, then it became clear that the woman will not be given the floor. She was able to fight her way to the official. In the future, we will put our letters to you in this box, and you will make all of our dreams come true with this wand. The first letter from the city's resident is already there. Baudjan Abdishev did not read the letter in public, but accepted the gift.
Maybe all questions should be placed here at once, and I will solve them with this wand.
Baudjan Abdishev holds the position of Karaganda mayor for only a month, but Rosa Petrus has already made a conclusion. If the official is so well guarded, he is not very close with people. Nevertheless, she still believes in fairy tales and hopes that the new mayor turns out to be a magician.
Kazakh indie group Motorola never wanted to achieve mainstream success, but did just that after uploading a video for their song about war. The lyrics and images became a subject of major discussions throughout the former Soviet Union. The next report is about this newest internet phenomenon.
Over 140,000 views last week just at YouTube. This is a record number for Kazakh show business. Initially, Almaty-based Motorola uploaded a video for their song about war to the mail.ru video service. A few days later, the video appeared almost on all social networks and video portals.
Just out of curiosity, I tapped Motorola about war in a search engine and saw that we are already known everywhere. Something is written about us in Bulgaria, Ukraine, and even in some Baltic newspapers.
The song was written 3 years ago on the eve of the Victory Day. Ilya Sautov said that this was the song he felt was missing and came up from deep inside. Still, the song's meaning and internet popularity cannot help the hit single to get rotation on Kazakh television and radio for free.
This happens because radio stations do not fight for top content. This will continue unless we have an incentive to discover new artists and say that they first performed for us. Everything happens because there's no competition.
The director of Almaty music channel, Adilian, has also saw the video on the internet and was immediately hooked by the meaning of songs and its soulful feel. He made an exception. Motorola's new creation has finally reached airwaves bypassing the traditional scheme. A contract was signed, but the channel did not take any money from the musicians.
These were all latest news from Kazakhstan. Thank you for being with us, and goodbye.